Okay, greetings and good evening everyone. So, we're here at round 11 of the DRC Tier 2 F1 Grand Prix around the Qatar Grand Prix de Losail International Circuit, powered by Milestone. So an interesting track, of course. This one's only recently been in the calendar. We had a race into 2021, skipping 2022 in the actual Formula 1 season, and we are going to be racing around here tonight. So just going to get all the information up on screen. I believe we get fastest laps without that, quite possibly. We'll leave that off for now. As the drivers now begin to make their way out onto the circuit. Leroy, first one out onto track. Hopefully anyone tuned in can let me know if there's any difficulties, any problems with the actual audio volumes. So, Qatar, a high downforce, high speed circuit actually. 16 high downforce corners that are punishing on the ERS. Drivers will probably see themselves actually running out of deployment before reaching the start-finish line. 5.4 kilometer circuit, 16 corners, 10 to the right, 6 to the left. Only one DRS straight to give the drag reduction system for qualifying and for the race. And plenty of runoff, as you can see as well. So we're probably going to see a lot of side-by-side action. Plenty of space for the drivers to battle hard. And with the one long DRS straight, hopefully we can see plenty of overtaking as well. It's the penultimate race of the season, which sees Striker Boy leading the championship, 27 points ahead of his teammate Yuno. The Aston Martin pair, a very strong driver lineup this season. They've all but wrapped up, all but confirmed the Constructors' Championship. Only a confirmation of a points finish positive to Ferrari this evening. We'll see them crowned Constructors' Championships. See them crown the Constructors' Champion ahead into the final race at Suzuka. As we're going to see Leroy now sizing up to start his flying lap. That Mercedes looking very good under the Qatari lights here. DRS wing open as he heads down into the first corner. Heavy braking zone, medium to slow speed corner. How tight you get to the right side can affect how you open up into the corner. Easy to lose the rear end through these corners. It's a high power circuit, so at any point you lift off, any point you're not applying the power is just time lost. Nice lift through here into sector 2 now. None of the corners, I believe, have any names, so it's not the most interesting. You can't start saying that drivers are battling through Stowe or drivers are battling into no name. It's all just no name around this circuit. I believe mostly a MotoGP circuit, but it suits nicely for the downforce, the aerodynamics of these cars. And he looks like he drifts wide, just hangs onto it, Leroy. Barely staying on track. Purples, of course, as he is the first driver to come through. Traffic up ahead, a Ferrari that will need to make way, and they do so as well. Plenty of runoff, as mentioned, so there should be no reason why drivers get caught out. Little wiggle on exit as Leroy struggles to maintain the power through there. Through the final corner and the power down. Plenty of battery actually left, I think, so he's looked after his deployment. Light now blinking as he comes to the line. We're going to see the first time set this evening as a 22.2. We're going to see Yuno now coming to the line. Let's see what he can set. Second place in the championship. A good result over his teammate will still have him at a chance of winning. And he sets a 22.1. A fantastic time by Yuno. Aston Martin having a great season themselves. I believe Fawaz is on a flying lap. We'll see what he can do. If he has any response, if he can find himself up at provisional pole. Good bit of lift there. First lap, of course, drivers getting a feel for the conditions, getting a feel for how their setups are behaving. You can do all the practice on time trial, all the practice in Grand Prix mode, of course, but nothing will actually compare to the race itself. As he comes to the line, sets a 21.7. The first times in the 21s, of course. I believe we've got Pickle Rick coming to the line, and he sets a 22.5. As drivers are now really beginning to set their laps, I believe. Striker Boy low on ERS. He is coming to the line though, so we could see a time here. Cammy setting 22.9. Forza 21.7, of course, and Juno 21.1. And Striker Boy sets a 21.8. Two drivers in the 21 seconds now, of course. A Ferrari, I believe, of Splatbeef charging to the line. We'll see what he can do. What answer Ferrari have to hold on, perhaps. It's a 22.7 from himself. Ferrari, of course, mathematically have not lost. They still have a chance at first place, but it is all but wrapped up by Aston Martin. They only need to have a positive points finish confirmed at this race, and they will wrap up the constructors. The drivers standing as Thunderfox sets a 21.2. The race winner last time out after TNC was awarded a time penalty. We'll go over the results actually of the Mexican Grand Prix. It was a fantastic race with Thunderfox himself, who made a late charge, wasn't able to get the track position of first confirmed. TMC, unfortunately, a time penalty for cutting the pit lane, which led to a Thunderfox victory in the end in the steward's room. So Thunderfox, TMC and Perryland were your top three finishers. So just a bit of a jiggling around of the final results order there. In terms of constructors, as I mentioned, we have drivers, of course, Aston Martin, who have wrapped that up in 243 points. As you see, Pocket's actually starting a lap. I thought he was finishing. Ferrari on 156, so Aston Martin virtually wrapped that one up. But the drivers' standings. The Drivers' Championship, Striker Boy on 135 points, Uno 108, Pocket on 104, TNC 98, Fawaz 93, Alicento on 90. So there's a few drivers that would say they would be in with a chance. I think all but a disastrous drive from Aston Martin tonight and next week will be the reason for that. I think, yeah, Oliver's actually backed out of a lap. We'll go back on board with the Ferrari of Pockets. Quite calm through there, very tame, looking after the car. You want to make sure you just get a banker lap in somewhere where if it all goes to chaos, you do definitely have a chance at starting very high up. Of course, free softs for the drivers to use through this, depending on their tyre allocations that they'll end up taking through into the race as well. So with it being a high-speed, high-downforce track, these drivers are going to punish their tyres quite a lot. Can't imagine we'll see a lot of the softs throughout this circuit as Pockets for the DRS Open comes to the line and sets a very respectable 22.2. Leroy on an out lap. Only one Mercedes driver again this evening. I believe TNC, who's had a very good race, of course, who only provisionally won before the stewards took that race win away. It's 22 flat virtually there from himself. So I believe Tundra is starting up a lap here. We're right on board with him in but a moments. Drivers are still setting laps, of course. So the order so far: Thunderfox, provisional pole 21.2, Flowers 21.6. A very, very big 0.4 gap there. Drivers will have plenty of time to find. Striker Boy 21.8, your championship leader so far. TMC 22 dead. You know, Leroy, Pockets, Karumi, and then Pickle Rick, Splatbeef, Cammy, Takimi, and Oliver. Oliver with, I believe, what was probably an abandoned lap, as we yet to see some of the drivers set laps. I think Perryland might actually have a qualification ban if he's still staying in the pits. But Tundra, technically the only person yet to set a lap. ERS was blinking as he set his battery to harvest through Sector 2. As I mentioned at the start of the stream, drivers will find themselves running out of ERS before they even get to the start-finish line, so they will need to manage their ERS. If they just deploy the entire lap, then they won't have enough coming out of the final corner and they will lose time. Sixth gear, a little bit of a lift by Tundra through here as he's going to go down to the heavy braking zone of Turn 1. Easy to lock up as you start to rotate the car through the final corner, using as much as a curve, the rear wing open on this Red Bull as he takes the start-finish line. And he will set a 1:22.1. The team drivers relatively close together, as some are now leaving the pit lane and taking to the circuit to begin another set of flying laps. We'll see if we have anyone actually currently on one, as Perryland is doing something. I said it last time, nothing escapes the commentator's watch. As Perryland, tail between his legs, rejoins the circuit to continue his outlap. Do we have anyone on a flying lap? I think we do. Oliver is either abandoning his lap or he's completed a lap, but it's a 22.6. He's not got the DRS. He's going to go again, actually. We've got traffic here. I believe that's the Haas of... It's not the Haas of TNC. It's the Haas of Takimi, who's actually finishing his lap, blocking there, perhaps, from the Alpine car. Frustration, I'm sure, there from Takimi. But we do have Splat Beef sizing up a move, of course, here. Ferrari, P2 in the championships, only really on merit. They will have P2, I think, virtually secured. It'll be down to Aston Martin. Just outscore them this evening to make sure they take home P1. Through the slow, heavy hairpin left-hander. Very easy to misjudge these medium speed corners. Drivers, of course, it's all about the exit through here and carrying the speed. Sometimes you can take a wider line and you feel like you've punished yourself, but it's all about the exit, just maintaining your car's momentum round here. Just taking the shortest line possible each time that you can. We're seeing if any drivers are going to get close to Thunder Fox. But Beef, not saying a bad time, I believe, here so far. Through the final couple of corners here. We'll see if that light begins to blink, if he's managed his ERS out of the exit. Not blinking yet tells me he has DRS open. We'll see what time he set, if he can get close at all to P1. It's a little bit off, actually, as he only does a 22.7 again. It's virtually the same time from Splatbeef again. So drivers perhaps not finding the improvement they need to find. Kurumi, I believe, is on a flying lap here, so we're going to ride on board with him as he navigates Sector 2, of course, so you can get a feel for this technical section of the track. Easy to lose the rear end through these, just trying to maintain throttle, fourth gear, using as much of the track as possible. And again, over to the left, trying to minimize the distance that you're traveling. With the curbs as well, it's easy to unsettle the car, but you can take as much as you want, just as long as you avoid those yellow sausage curbs, because of course that will end your run, that will ruin your day. A little bit of grip loss there. We'll see if that costs any time for Kurumi as he brings his car around the right-hander. Throttle down, powering through to the final straight, the final finishing line here. We'll see what Kurumi can set. If anything, the engine's struggling to high downforce, and he's not made any progress there. No gain on his time. Leroy's about to be starting a lap, actually, I believe. It's a Ferrari that's not boxing. Pockets is in. Splatbeef will be boxing as he finished a lap. A Red Bull of Tundra beginning his outlap. We'll see if Leroy, who's now started a lap, has any response. If anyone can break Thunder Fox's pole position time, a 21.2. Striker Boy did get close, of course. He did set a 21.2. So Thunder Fox will be leaving the pit lane now as well to see what he can do. If he can secure his pole position. Track evolution. And oh no, that is Leroy spinning right as I was looking at the times. We're going to see he turns off his ERS. He might have enough battery to go again. We'll see if he has any spare tyres. 4 minutes left in the session, so drivers have got enough time to box. It's either you go out now and risk, you have that buffer to make any mistakes, or you leave it as late as possible, and you'll be able to get the benefit, the biggest benefit of the newest tyres and track evolution as the AlphaTauri pair come in. Kami following his teammate Kurumi into the pit lane. You can see Williams there finishing up as well. So they might be able to go again. Drivers will have to dive in and replace their tyres. Tundra is on a flying lap, so we'll follow on board with him. Actually, I think the Haas pair are going to cross the line first. So Takimi on a out lap, TNC on an out lap. So we're right on board with Tundra as he will try and see if he has any response. If he can join his teammate, help Thunder Fox win this race at all. Navigating the technical sector 2 that really punishes the cars if your setup is not right, of course. It's easy just to want to throw all the wings on, of course, but then it's how much speed can you get away with, how much downforce can you just cheat away from the car and carry more momentum round, of course. But every bit of downforce you don't put on the car is just going to punish the tyres, as that rubber will be torn up and struggle. We have yellows here, as Thunder Fox just spins on its outlap and gives way to Tundra, who will be coming in line. That's not going to be any good for Thunder Fox. I wonder if he has enough time. Tundra, who does get P5. As we can see, I believe Pockets, he's now going to be starting his lap as well. Thunder Fox, we'll see if he's using his battery, actually. 2 minutes in the session. Thunder Fox will be taking another out lap. He'll be going around wanting to look after his tyres, of course. Check back in with the Haas pair. TMC, second place. Race win was robbed of him of his own accord, of course. Cutting the pit lane was a bit too much from him. Stewards, of course, deemed that very dangerous driving and had to penalise it. Carrying a lot of speed through the final sector here. We'll see what TMC can do if he can find himself in a good position. DRS going to be open to the line here, as TMC sets a fantastic time, 21.7, not enough to meet Thunder Fox. Takimi to the line. Can he join his teammate further up the order at all? It does improve, but not enough at all to go up the order at all. Thunder Fox, I believe, so Tundra is boxing, so that will be his session over with. Forza is about to begin a lap, but I believe we have drivers, of course, coming round. Think Pockets will be starting a lap. Splatbeef on a lap. Tundra retiring as he is now in the pit lane, of course. So it will be on Thunder Fox. Yeah, so plenty of drivers are now starting. So we'll go on board with Forza, I believe, who is the first person to be setting a lap out of the order of cars. If I miss anyone, I apologise. As Forza now exits Sector 1 and will now be our first car to begin their assault, their charge on Thunder Fox's provisional time. Forza has a bit of time to find, of course, 0.4 seconds, roughly separating between him, Striker Boy, and Thunder Fox. Forza, who's had a good results past few races. Not what he would have wanted out in Mexico, but he did get back-to-back wins around Austria and Spain. TMC retiring drivers who, of course, want to retire. Striker Boy actually takes to the pits. There's nothing that he can do now. Either he felt the tyres were gone or he couldn't gain anything at all. But that is it for Striker Boy. He cannot set a time to catch Thunder Fox. Bit wide there from Fowers. Does keep it in with track limits as he comes around to the final corner. We'll see what that cost him. If he has any answer, if he can find any time here at all, it's going to be close. He does improve, but not enough. So you have the wrong Ferrari. As Pockets finds himself P6, I believe Thunder Fox. He will want to extend his margin as he comes to the line. Kurumi jumps up to 8th. Thunder Fox to the line, doesn't improve. Splatby finds himself in 11th. There's plenty of cars finding. Yuno finds 4th. I think we've got Oliver, next person that will be there. He jumps up to 10th, and the Williams of Perryland is in 4th. So late charge by the drivers. They did find improvements, but no one could find the improvement of Thunder Fox, who takes pole position here in qualifying at Qatar Grand Prix DRC round 11. So Thunderfox, Striker Boy, and Forza, your top 3 for qualifying. Thunderfox, who has plenty of pace, arriving not, well, no one can really challenge Aston Martin. I don't think he's in the fight himself for drivers. He's down with 62 points. But every race win is a good result, and no one's going to ever turn those down. I think we're waiting on, yeah, drivers were just peeling into the pit lane. As that is a Red Bull pole position. Something to be very proud of around such a technical track. Someone commenting as well, here comes the rain. If we have rain around this track, that it will be painful. It will be very painful, but enjoyable to watch nonetheless, as Thunderfox takes pole position, Striker Boy in second, Boxing unable to find time with the mistakes and not getting his pole position that could have wrapped up the championship. Forza P3, Periland P4, TMC, Leroy, Pockets, Tundra, and Karimi wrap up your top 10 with Oliver, Splat Beef, Pickle Rick, Kami, and Takimi, the rest of the grid. Drivers fairly close together in their own packs, very close top 2. Fawaz making a very crucial mistake through Sector 2 that would have maybe cost him a challenge on that. Drivers struggling to improve. It's a very dusty circuit. And there is rain! There is rain at the Qatar Grand Prix. It's not just rain, it's torrential. There's puddles in the pit lane as drivers. Well, how much more downforce can you put on your car? Lego, as Alexi says. I don't know how you're proud of this one. I don't know what you're happy about. It's going to be a long race. Very, very long race. And very painful. I am engineer for TMC. Oh well. Go find your umbrella, because it's going to be a long one. Waiting for the drivers, waiting for the players, of course. They will be needing to adjust their setups. We did have one DRS straight, but I don't think we'll see the rear wings open now anymore on these cars. I think it's definitely going to be full wets. There is very deep puddles in the pit lane. Just going to take a very quick sip of my drink. I'll have plenty of time for it, of course. But the drivers are not going to rush around the formation lap, I feel. There's no reason for them to do so. They don't need to warm up their tyres too much, as Thunderfox takes the lead for the leading out all the drivers. 15 cars on the grid, of course. As mentioned, Aston Martin can wrap up the constructors, just need a net positive finish on Ferrari, but Striker Boy wanted to extend his championship lead, getting that wrapped up. Mathematically, of course, he's not done it. Juno, if he has a good race, can challenge his teammate, the Ferrari of Pocket as well. TMC still there. Faraz and Alessandro, I believe, mathematically still have a case, still have a chance, but it's all on Striker Boy to lose now. So floodlights are bringing some interesting effects with the rain. Okay, so the car's absolutely soaked. The spray coming off. Let's see how bad it is. Not so bad. Striker Boy can see fairly well. Depends, of course, how the graphic settings are on every person. So I've got mine, well, mine should be all the way to the max. So try and give a good visual show for everyone. But just look at that circuit. There's puddles everywhere. The track is so dark, so bleak. We're going to see a lot of spins. A lot of spins, I feel. Striker Boy, I can't think of any on-track sporting penalty for that, but maybe a fine because someone had to actually construct that braking board and you've just decided to smash it. But we'll see what the stewards say. I can imagine you'll just get a fine for that one. As Thunderfox makes his way to P1 parking spot. Drivers just getting a little bit of heat in their tyres, of course. They don't want to go too cold, which can happen. Waiting on Takimi, who's charged quite ahead, actually, to get himself into his pit spot. Just waiting on one more up ahead. And here we are. Drivers are at the grid. They are going to begin revving as the lights begin. 5 red lights here. The Qatar Grand Prix around Losail International Circuit. We got a jump start by Juno. That's no good for Aston Martin. As actually, he does get a great getaway. He has to continue now. He will have a drive through to serve. So he's going to probably battle as much as he can with Thunderfox. He does tuck back round the inside of Williams and Perryland. Side by side, 3 wide through there. Drivers actually navigating this quite well. Juno continues through, of course. He has to take that punishment on the chin, getting the jump start. Drivers fighting through here. A move there down the inside by Oliver, who makes up 2 places. Very smoothly done by him. Fantastic move by the Alpine. As Perryland as well is up and battling here. A bit late one there. Oliver contacting with the Ferrari. And that's a 3-second time penalty for going off there. Too aggressive of a move. Drivers thinking they have the grip that they really do not have. Let's get some of the actual information up on screen. So Juno has made 4 positions, but will have a drive-through penalty. There's damage at the back. And that's Flatbeef with a missing wing. Drivers struggling in these conditions to avoid contact as we have a virtual safety car. As Leroy gets a speeding penalty for speeding on the VSC as well. You must respect the Delta. The crazy starts to the race. Oliver with time penalty. Too much aggression from himself. Karumi makes a couple of places. Kami, AlphaTauri pair doing quite well. Pockets missing out. Splatbeef missing out and losing a wing. And I think Juno's just timed that perfectly. Unfortunately, we are no longer under a virtual safety car, so he will serve his time penalty through the pit lane. As drivers now are underway back to racing conditions once more. As Blackbeef didn't box, so he still has a wing. Trying to see if I see any missing end plates there, but I thought he got wing damage. Must have been Tundra. I didn't see the mechanics dealing with anything there, but how far back he is would suggest it was Tundra's wing that got damaged, unfortunately. As Fars makes his way through the field, 1 second gap to Thunderfox. A good pace by Fars, gaining a couple positions, keeping his championship chances alive, of course. Strike Boy missing out. He's now down in 3rd. Perryland holds on to 4th. We do have conditions at the back here. Pickle Rick is out, and that's going to bring out a safety car. Not sure if we had any contact there. I thought drivers, I was like, oh, I'll take a moment. I'll just explain, where we're at now in the race. What that means to the positions that people have gained. But unfortunately, it's a safety card. It's cost Pickle Rick participation of this race. Any more P's, I'm going to be doing a tongue twister like Peter Piper picked to Peckle Pickle Peppers. The important part of that is, here Peter Piper picked to Peckle Pickle Peppers, and where's Pickle Pepper that Peter Piper picked? I'm going to carry on now. I'm going to stop doing that. So, according to the possible race strategies, we're finally 2 laps in. It's going to be a full wet race. So I can imagine seeing maybe a pit stop halfway through this race for drivers. I don't think anyone's going to come in unless they got damage. As we see drivers going down the main straight. No one taking the option to box yet so far. Thunderfox in P2 after Fars, as I'm explaining, who does have a chance at the championship, of course, having 98 points. Striker Boy, the championship leader, though, is well and truly clear in P3. I don't know what result he gets. I think if he does win Striker Boy, and I think Yuno doesn't get a good result, I think definitely the championship is wrapped up, especially Pocket as well. So I think Striker Boy can win it here if he gets a win. It's actually worth having a quick look at that. Should have done this really beforehand, but we've got a safety car, there's plenty of time. So Striker Boy is 27 points clear. So a win, or I think possibly P2, would mean he does wrap up the championship. So it is, as I said, it is his to lose. There are still drivers in contention. But Aston Martin, incredibly dominant. See an Aston Martin actually leading the pack with Burt Mylander, the safety car, up in P1. You can see the conditions here, just very treacherous. Pushing the drivers to the absolute limit. They'll have to maintain concentration throughout the entirety of the race. As I see Tundra slowly making his way round as well, trying to catch up to the pack. Leroy as well. We'll double check what penalties people have so far. Leroy's struggling with track limits there, actually. And with a drive-through, so that was speeding onto the virtual safety car, so Oliver will have a 3-second time penalty that may or may not get removed at the end of the race, but considering the moves he was trying to pull, I imagine that 3 seconds will stay, maybe even more penalty actually, as you saw him make contact with other cars. Leroy with drive-through, can't serve that under the safety car, so we are not going to see him box at all until that safety car's out of the way. With a drive-through, you want to serve it, of course, as soon as possible. If drivers had got it and then served it immediately, they would be caught back up to this pack, of course. I imagine this will be the last lap we have under safety car conditions as well. As you can just see, the conditions are just torrential. Qatar, normally known, even late at night, to be a very hot, very humid race sometimes. Drivers struggling, especially sometimes being ill, to actually stay in the race, stay fighting fit. We saw that with, I believe it was Logan Sargent, the actual Formula 1 Grand Prix had to retire due to illness. He was unable to continue participating. Drivers struggling. I think Alonso even commentating that he wanted water thrown on him. If not at this track, at definitely a previous track. But I think drivers have got enough water tonight. I don't think they want any more. Gonna see, I believe we'll see the safety car coming in. Everyone has formed up and caught up to the safety car as it's just navigating sector 2 here, of course. You can see the blinking lights as well, indicating wet conditions, which we will see for the entirety of the race. Shouldn't agree to do this one alone. I think we'll get plenty of action, but it's going to be a slow safety car, and it's going to be slow racing throughout. 25 laps left of this circuit. A safety car is confirmed to be coming in, as we'll see Farwaz begin to back up the pack. And Thunder Fox, who will be on the gearbox of that Alfa Romeo, waiting for Farwaz to go. If and when he does go, of course, you just want to wait as long as possible. You want to back the pack up. You want to give yourself as much time to actually charge down the field. It's a long, long pit straight. I can't imagine Farwaz going out of the last corner. So we will have to see when he does go. Striker Boy keen, keeping his tyres warm, but Thunder Fox not getting off, not lifting at all from Farwaz. And he has gone now, so we'll see when drivers do make a move. We do have move back here by the Alpine of Oliver. He's sizing up a move, but up ahead as Thunder Fox makes the move down the inside on Farwaz, side by side. He's got the inside line. He's got the move done as this yellow's back there. As Karumi has gone round, he's facing the wrong way. Won't be a safety car. He does make his way back onto the grid. Thunder Fox with a fantastic move. Farwaz is now eyeing up the back as there's a bit of a gap. Oliver, of course, in 5th. I'm not sure if he did get the move, but the Ferrari pair now drop down, of course, as Takimi has made a move himself. Plenty of spray. It's hard to show the conditions. And a move here by Yuno up the inside, down the outside now. A little bit deep as Pockets takes this back. But Yuno is still there, of course. Driver's just struggling for grip, struggling to make these moves stick. Very tight camera angle, trying to see anything going on here, but it's all chaos. And there's... Who's lost out? Periland's out! He's found the barriers in Sector 2. We're going to see another safety car. Definitely going to need to be riding on board with cars more, I feel, as they all bunch up. The spray, it's very difficult to see in these conditions from on board, let alone off board. Farwell's dummying to go in. Either that or just thinking about it, but second guessing himself. There's a long way to go in this race. As unfortunately now 2 cars have retired, losing Pickle Rick and now losing Periland on lap 5 of the Qatar Grand Prix. As you do see drivers pulling in. Pockets, who will need a wing change, I believe, looking at that. Kurumi, I think, maybe has damage, but we'll see the Ferrari coming in along with the AlphaTauri. As we do see a front wing coming out onto that Ferrari. Kurumi just opting for a change of tyres. Deciding that the wets won't make it the full distance, which is completely understandable. They will probably struggle in terms of the full race distance. So a bit of chaos here, which rain does always tend to bring. It can shuffle up the order, it can sometimes be the great equalizer between drivers. But one thing it definitely does bring is a different sense of skill required. You can't just put down the power in any of the corners. You don't have the grip you need, and any lapse in concentration will find you facing the wrong way. Didn't quite see, of course, if it was contact that brought Periland out of the race, or if he lost the vehicle on his own accord. Vehicle? The car. Don't need to be so posh and say vehicle, I suppose. Second safety car of this race, and, well, third conditions under full yellows, of course, as we had a virtual VSC as well, virtual safety car, which drivers not respecting the delta. Leroy getting a drive-through penalty. He's not yet been even able to serve. We've not had one full lap of racing, I don't think, just yet, apart from the first lap. Oliver, a 3-second time penalty, making aggressive moves. Something we definitely can't say we don't like to see, but as long as it's all clean, which some drivers don't feel that probably was. And hopefully, last lap of safety car again, as Pockets has now slowly but surely caught up to the back of this safety car pack. .4 circuit. If we can get a full green flag or a bit of racing under these conditions, maybe we'll see some good conditions. Thunderfox eyeing up the back of the safety car, the Aston Martin safety car, of course, who are leading the championship, virtually all but wrapped up. So far, where they are currently on the grid in terms of points, this will probably see Aston Martin all but confirm the Constructors' Championship. Striker Boy, I believe, would be doing so the same with his position, but that will all be needed confirmed after the race, of course. This driver's now going through Sector 2. You can just see the conditions not letting up at all. A dry Qatar circuit, one that's very technical, one that's very, very tiring. Virtually even sim racing. Plenty of constant changes of speed, concentration as well required. So in wet conditions, I imagine none of the drivers were especially happy to see the forecast. Safety car confirmed to be coming in. So we'll see Thunderfox back up the pack. Fowers will be eyeing up that Red Bull just as Thunderfox did to him. We'll see when he goes. Again, you don't want to go too early, as far as found out. There's a long straight, the timing line halfway down, of course, just past halfway, giving drivers a chance to slipstream down the order and just see how little visibility there is. Thunderfox taking it nice and slow. The safety car's in the pit lane. It will be approaching the timing line, so they perfectly defined to go racing again. Drivers are coming round. And Thunderfox has gone. He's caught Fowers completely unaware here. Oliver on the back of the Aston Martin. He'll be sizing up a move, deploying the battery. And Leroy just qualified for ignoring the drive-through penalty. I didn't believe there was a time limit to serve it, but he's been penalised from the session. He's now disqualified. Thunderfox a fantastic getaway here. Oliver still on the back of the Aston Martin, and I think Cammy was eyeing up a move possibly on TMC. Drivers maintaining their position, of course, through here. We'll probably get the position changed back up just to sort of see who has lost out here. Oliver so far has made a good move through the race and is making a move here on Striker Boy down the inside and gets the move done, holds on to that position as the Aston Martin drops further back. 2 positions lost out on Striker Boy, unfortunately, throughout this session so far. It's a brilliant move. The Alpine charging through the field. You'll need to get many positions out of the way, many drivers out of the way, of course, and make a gap to get rid of those penalties. Who is setting a purple as well? I believe we've got Tundra on the back of Juno as well. No challenge from the Ferrari behind there. Of course, you're just getting away. The Aston Martin drivers having a fantastic season and a decent enough race so far. Some of the camera angles are really punishing on my PC, I'm noticing. I think Oliver is sizing up a move on Fawaz. He's looking at that rear end of the Alfa Romeo, charging forward, getting closer and closer, but just too far back to make the move. Keeping him honest, trying to keep him in the wind mirror on that car, but a fantastic line through there. He's going to look down the inside perhaps as Fowers is struggling for the grip. They're side by side now. He loses the rear end, a little bit of contact, but he's going to have to settle back for third and make the move perhaps again, but that's only going to hold up Striker Boy even more as Oliver down the inside. Fowers is going to hold on to this. He's actually going to slip in behind as Oliver makes that move. Thunderfox extending his gap. Striker Boy now and Fawaz, they've had plenty of battles so far this season, and he's going to probably want to make this one of his own as well, rather than just watch these two cars battle up ahead. I believe Tundra is losing out on trying to make this move on Juno, can't get the way round the Aston Martin. Red Bull fighting very well through the field who Tundra, and now Pockets gets a time penalty for track limits. Harryland leaving the session. Drivers leaving the session, of course, understandable. When you're no longer in the session, if you stay around, you can cause lag, so it is a bit unfortunate. Oliver through to P2, Fowers P3, and he runs very wide there. Drivers struggling to fight through here. Striker Boy has made that position. Fowers is still there down the inside, but he will have to settle for fourth as Striker Boy reclaims third place. He's going to be wanting to reclaim second as well. But here comes Fawaz back at him down the outside. These two drivers, plenty of battling already so far this race, as Striker Boy just holds his ground, holds that position very well. As I see in Tundra, who has got ahead of Juno, that Red Bull has made further progress through the field. And Spatbeef will be looking at his wing mirrors and eyeing up that Red Bull more now as well. But so far up ahead, Thunderfox, 2.5 second lead with a time penalty on Oliver. Thunderfox will feel this race is very secure so far. Any safety cars can always change that, of course. But Forza on the back of Striker Boy, any move that could be happening here we shall see. It's very difficult to overtake through Sector 2, but some drivers may be wanting to do so, as we see Tundra dispatching the Ferrari of Splat Beef. Very nicely done down the inside, and the Ferrari having no answer. Some drivers feeling the conditions, getting very confident and making a charge through the field, while some are struggling, as we see Fawaz, of course, just falling back a little bit. Maybe lack of downforce or lack of confidence in the conditions, but drivers are not able to take the same lines as each other. Some are struggling to put down the power and just waiting until the car's straightened up, but still not confident on full throttle as much as others. Peter Kimi quite far back. I missed when that happened, if he did unfortunately have a spin. Over a second now between TNC and Fawaz. I've seen a little bit of a battle here for 10th place. As you know, dropping into 9th place, battling with Pockets here. They're going to go side by side through turn 1. And Pockets just maintaining the lead here, coming out ahead. And, you know, will settle in behind. Well defended. The Ferrari's probably going to drive together here, see if they can hold on to any positions, as even Karumi makes a move down the inside of that Aston Martin. Maybe a little bit of contact, but nothing too bad there from either one of them. Fawaz eyeing up the move and taking Striker Boy out of the session. He's round. Going to be very careful here to avoid traffic as he rejoins the circuit very carefully. Our championship leader has fallen right down the order here. Fawaz missing his braking zone, missing and the line completely, as Pockets now drops down the order. The Alfa Romeo unfortunately getting into trouble. 2 seconds now, 2.7 seconds the gap to Oliver in P2, who, if he only gets a 3-second time penalty, he can stretch out that gap. As well as Thunderfox, who has a 2.1 second lead. Comfortable, can just look after these tyres now, can dictate the race strategy. It'll be his race to lose, of course. But Striker Boy, who is in a fantastic position to be winning the constructors with his team, winning the Drivers' Championship. And he's just fallen down the order, making it difficult for himself now. Of course, none of it being his fault. He dives down the inside of Splatbeat, dispatching the Ferrari. Fawaz definitely he'll regret that one. He definitely doesn't like to cause incidents. Some drivers just take it on the chin, but it's something he'll definitely regret, considering especially what this race means for Aston Martin and for Striker Boy, who must be feeling frustrated. Who was complaining about wet conditions earlier? Surely it wasn't someone commentating on this race, saying that, you know, just equalises it out and makes the race really long. Brings plenty of excitement. As I just noticed as well. So if you get a drive through, you must serve it within 3 laps, but I'm not even sure you can serve it under a safety car, so I'm not sure how that actually works for... Never been in that situation and never seen that situation, so I imagine maybe he just had to peel in, but interesting one nonetheless. You know, Striker Boy's teammate, of course, on the back of this Ferrari pair. He had every chance to climb back up the order and even get ahead of his teammate. Unfortunately, not able to do so. Not sure if there was any team orders there. You know, is Striker Boy's closest contender in the championship battle. While they're being teammates, there's a lot of personal gain there as well. Could see an undercut, maybe a bit of strategy here. Maybe he looks after his own personal gain. If there's any tyre, any conditions that he can do to in his favour for his own chances. I see Karumi on the back of Tundra, who now has fallen back a little bit and is no longer charging through as fast as he would hope. Pockets perhaps on Striker Boy further back, but Striker Boy plenty of pace, I think, to be seeing that one off currently. Side by side, Kurumi and Tundra. Just taking a drink for the moment. Kurumi running a little bit deep, which sees Tundra struggling a little bit as well, but Kurumi running deep and with Tundra struggling for traction just gives him the perfect straight line to charge back through. He's going to have to settle for 7th. Most of the battling happening back here in the low points playing positions, but Oliver has slowly found time. He is 1 second back on Thunder Fox. We'll start seeing some slipstream effect for him. No DRS, of course. You won't have that under wet conditions. We'll see if there's any straight line speed difference, if the slipstream is beneficial here. But Thunder Fox just pulling away. 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second lost down that main straight. So we'll see if that Alpine can find any time further through any of the middle sectors. Fawaz, who will probably be seeing a penalty awarded to him, especially if Aston Martin will want to throw a appeal his way. Does have TNC for company, but he is extending that gap now, of course. And Aston Martin, Ferrari, Aston Martin pairing going on here. Striker Boy, Pockets, Splat Beef. Each of their own individual battles, and these are the constructors' rivals, of course. Aston Martin have this all virtually wrapped up, especially even in this position. All Aston Martin have to do, I believe, is just outscore Ferrari in this race, and they'll see themselves winning the Constructors' Championship. But in terms of the driver standings, Striker Boy being down in 8th and only scoring 1 point in 10th if it continues this way. This will definitely keep it alive. Definitely put a twist in this. As you see, Oliver has actually made plenty of ground as Thunder Fox pits. Thunder Fox deciding virtually nearly halfway through this race now, in fact very much halfway through this race, that these tyres are not going to get to the end, that they are not in the condition they need to be to hold on to this battle. He peels in for a pit stop. I was going to see a change of tyres on that Red Bull. Nice simple getaway. He will likely come out behind Splat Beef and so we're going to see no traffic for him. As long as he doesn't have to hold on to a battle. We'll see how close this is exiting, of course. He can't go until the line. Now he can, so he's plenty of ways back. Doesn't have to worry about Takimi, the Haas too far back. As Thunder Fox has now boxed, he's on the freshest compound of tyre you can have under these conditions. We'll see if that prompts a react, if there's an undercut from himself, or if everyone feels like they could maintain this. We'll have a quick check. So Thunder Fox on the freshest of tyres. Takimi's 5 laps old, but, well, bit of a ways back. 14 lap old tyres for most of the drivers. Kurumi did box. Tundra boxed on lap 1, of course, with damage, I believe. Pockets 9 lap old tyres as well. So the rest of the drivers will be feeling like if they can't go to full race distance, then they will have to pit, which could work out well for Thunder Fox. Now, of course, you do not really need to change tyres under wet conditions. You can go to full distance on the wet compound. I think we do have Striker Boy close to Tundra, but not able to make any moves. They're still too far back, but we'll be seeing going into the final sector, out the final corner, if there's anything he can do. Thunder Fox as well, and Oliver gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. More punishment for that Alpine. As Thunder Fox round the outside in the final corner, the Ferrari having to brake heavily because he knows he hasn't got the grip to contend with that fresher set of tyres, and Thunder Fox is through to 10th. Tundra coming in for new tyres. Farwas is boxing as well for new tyres. Plenty of drivers now deciding that they need to change. Thunder Fox has seen that undercut work fairly well, dispatching the midfield battle, who now has Tundra for company as well, and pockets on the back of Striker Boy still. Just want to check, I can't remember. Striker Boy, of course, didn't actually box, so the Aston Martin pair may need to pit this race. And we do see yellows, as Black Beef has gone round. Doesn't seem to be any damage there. Looked away for a moment to look at the compounder tyres just to double check, and unfortunately completely missed that there. Farwas right on the back of Takimi, who is struggling, fighting as well strong as he can against Farwas, but I can see that battle being over relatively quick as he makes the switch back round the outside. Just can't get the move done. Takimi will hold on to that position. Oh, Splat Beef, I'm not quite sure what happened there. If he lost out through side contact or if he just lost the car. Unfortunate for him. Ferrari having a relatively strong season. All drivers doing fairly well, but Aston Martin are just doing something else completely. A Strike Boy peels in, Pockets peels in, and Kami is boxing as well. Team C, the race leader, Kurumi in second, and then we will see Thunder Fox now taking P3 and fastest lap so far of the race. And Tundra will be overtaking plenty of these stopped cars, I feel, as well. It's very close actually here. Takimi and Farwas battling here side by side. But Farwas holding on to 6th. We see the same here with the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull. With Kami holding on to 8th, Tundra in 9th, Red Bull blinking first, of course, with Thunder Fox, which prompted a second round of pit stops for drivers who are definitely feeling these wets are not going to get to the end. Team C maybe feeling he can. So Team C and Yuno are yet to box. May as well keep this up. We've got the interval. Position changes now mean very little with the chaos we've had. Unfortunately, losing 3 drivers, Perryland, Pickle Rick, and Leroy. Each of them, I think, remember right, they bring out a safety car, unfortunately. Actually, no, sorry. Perryland and Pickle Rick being out, unfortunately crashing out. Leroy disqualified for a drive-through penalty, which he failed to serve within 3 laps. As you see, TMC now deciding to box, which we'll see Kurumi and Thunder Fox taking the lead of this race, as Thunder Fox sets another fastest lap, a 1:37.3 I think it was for him. Farwas picking up another time penalty. We're going to start seeing time penalties coming through lots with these drivers. Side by side here, Takimi and Kami. Maybe going to see something down the inside, does back out. Tundra eyeing up this one as well as they go side by side. Maybe a switch back from the Red Bull. Beautifully done. Gets the power down as he continues round the outside. And they make contact. And unfortunately, Takimi is round. Has to wait for the traffic, of course, to pass. He can't just rejoin the circuit. That's unfortunate for Takimi. The Haas, of course, dropping down in attempt. Still in points playing positions, but unfortunate the contact between the two. TMC was eyeing up something between Tundra. We do have Oliver and Kurumi battling. Oliver is in second place. Is catching. Is within a second of Thunder Fox. Apologies, throat being very sore this evening. CMC probably feeling like maybe he can get some revenge get a move done on Tundra, not let him just hold on to that position. His teammate losing out heavily in vain. Not sure if Takimi drifted wide into Tundra, as we do see Tundra go wide there with track limits. No penalties from himself, of course, so far. Kurumi boxing, probably one of the last box we will see, as all the drivers should feel these tyres now can go to the end of the race. Aston Martin trying to slipstream on this Haas. Striker Boy definitely wanting to get better result this race than he's feeling has been got so far. Of course, with the position of Striker Boy and the Drivers' Championship, I think is definitely still open, as you see a very incredible closing speed from Oliver. Close within half a second, and now he's dropped back. Maybe diving down a little too hot on the brakes. And Tundra, not just TMC, does have Striker Boy as well for company, defending heavily down the inside, not wanting to give up this position too easily. Of course, if you can't get the move down the inside or hold on to the outside and just force your car alongside, it's very difficult to overtake through these technical sections of the track. And we'll see if any battery burn, if any setup difference in straight line speed allows anyone into the final straight, if there's any move that can be done there. And speaking of which, Oliver, who is close enough to maybe feel some slipstream benefits on Thunder Fox, if you can get a good enough exit here, 6/10 back. Just not enough, not close enough to really feel any benefit there, as the Red Bull just drives away further and further into the lead of this race. Again, for Oliver's time penalties, I feel Thunder Fox probably feeling pretty confident here. But someone who might not be is Tundra, who does have the Haas, who does have the Aston Martin right on his gearbox. TMC eyeing up this move. You can just see the spray coming up from these tyres. Thunder Fox trying to squeeze out as much as he can. TMC round the outside, later on the brakes, he holds on to the move, and Tundra falls back as TMC gets the move done into 5th. A fantastic move by him, as Striker Boy is now eyeing up this move potentially on Tundra, looking at the gearbox of that Red Bull. If he can get a position himself, if he can climb further up the order. Striker Boy was saying he was a little bit unwell before the race. He's doing better than some of the F1 drivers. Of course, it's all just virtual. Lifting there, deciding nothing reckless. He's not going to try and dive down the inside or force anything from Tundra just yet. So he'll give this battle a bit of a rest for now, just easing up on his tyres, feeling that he can maybe get the move later in this lap, or maybe down into the main straight if he can get himself close enough. Someone who again is close enough, 6/10, Oliver on Thunder Fox. He'll be wanting to eye up this move. He'll be wanting to get it done, of course. But I think Striker Boy's right on the tail of Tundra. Not quite enough. Not close enough to make any moves just yet from him. Oliver, who is eyeing up this, just frustrating. He can't get the straight line speed at all into 1. Definitely the better downforce through the middle sector of the track, as Striker Boy gets a fantastic cutback. Can't get the traction down. Will have the slipstream. Tundra defending down the inside. Made a bit of a mistake. He's 1.8 back from TMC now. Striker Boy wanting to feel he gets this move done. He's going to try it round the outside. Very brave. Holds onto it. Tundra is still there. They're going to go side by side into the second corner. And Tundra has to cede that position, but he makes a fantastic exit. He's coming back at Striker Boy, who now has to give up that position. Must be frustrating being taken out, battling for the lead of the race. And now he's battling with the middle of the pack, and Tundra, who's defending very nicely here. Striker Boy lifting, braking very gently, trying to just see if he can force a mistake here by Tundra. And he's not able to. Tundra once again defending his position and holding on to 6. A Striker Boy is going to have to try again, and someone who is trying again this lap will be Oliver. 2 attempts now, only 1 attempt, and that's another cut. That is got to be punishing. 11 seconds now on Oliver. So even if he finishes ahead, of course, but I think he's going to be more worried about disqualification at this rate with the Alpine. We might lose a fourth driver. Striker Boy now, you can see how much he's lifting, how much he's taking it easy. Struggling to make the move on Tundra, but struggling to stay that close if he's having to lift aggressively. We'll see now out of the final corner what he can do. If he can get the power down, he is closer this time. Tundra getting a good exit. Which way will they go as Tundra holds his line, doesn't try to fend any more down the inside, opening up the angle. He's going to hold on to it. Striker Boy defending the inside, and he gets the move done and is through the sixth. But 4.2 seconds back from TMC, who was also battling with Tundra, who got that move done much earlier, is catching on Cami, of course. TMC, who of course had the race win taken away from him. Again, of course, I keep saying, I'm going to say it this last time, the pit lane cut, unfortunately, awarding him a time penalty. Do see battle back here, actually. Splatbeef eyeing up Takimi. If he's got enough pace, he could clear him. But it's 16 seconds back to 10th place, the last points on the grid, of course. So this is all just for merit, all just a healthy battle. Bit of practice, maybe, in the wet. Oliver, of course, has got the move done on Thunderfox. Thunderfox probably deciding it's not worth defending against Oliver, more likely to be seeing disqualification than seeing the race win with the time penalties that he has. It's always nice, of course, to win on track, but sometimes it's just not worth battling and losing time if you just let the driver go. So Oliver is leading the race, does have the time penalties. Thunderfox, a fantastic position from himself, up into second. Fawaz in third, having his own penalties, of course, maybe coming as well with taking Striker Boy out the race. Cami in fourth, a very good drive by the AlphaTauri driver. TMC in fifth, he still potentially has a charge to make with 6 laps to go. Maybe he could find himself in another position. Striker Boy in sixth, who will feel hard done by being taken out, as mentioned by Fawaz. Tundra, who has made a healthy battle, turn of pace in the race, unfortunately is now in 7th and struggling with the conditions, as you can see. And Pockets, the only Ferrari in the points, of course, so far. He's driving in 8th. And Kurumi and Yuno make up the last of your points paying positions. Splatbeef and Takimi, of course, as mentioned, healthy racing between these two, as we have lost Perilad, Pickle and Leroy, disqualified for not serving a drive-through penalty. I mentioned the race would probably last a while, it might feel a bit long, but it's flown by. We're on lap 23 of 29, as we're coming through the final sector of 23, and Thunderfox picks up a time penalty himself. Drivers now feeling the conditions as the tyres are wearing out, struggling to keep it on track. With Fawaz having a penalty, I can't imagine Thunderfox being too stressed. It does, of course, wipe his track limit warnings, so he can drive a little bit relaxed now that he's got that penalty applied and out the way. Tundra, I think, maybe just going wide there. Either he lifted or just kept it in track limit. But we're going to see here this freeway battle, as Tundra has had a bit of defending to do in this race. He is really wide there, as Pockets is eyeing up this move. Kurumi as well. Let's see who gets this position done. Freeway battle as we have a caution, and Thunderfox is out of the race! Virtual safety car deployed as Thunderfox has found the barriers! I was just mentioning he can take it easy! Unfortunately, that Red Bull will need to be cleared, and we've got a full course safety car. Oliver, once again, has a penalty for speeding under the safety car, bringing him closer probably to disqualification. Fawaz, probably our net race leader now. Cami, if he can hold on to it. Depends on the penalties, of course. But Thunderfox just losing out. That's unfortunate from him. Red Bull driver driving a fantastic race so far. It's unfortunate he's now out of the session. 12 drivers, sorry, no. Yeah, just 11 drivers left in the session. Striker Boy, of course, will be gaining a position by inheriting, well, everyone inheriting a position off of Thunder Fox. So he will be further up the order. Less stress for him trying to wrap up the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship for Aston Martin. I believe if it finishes like this, of course, Aston Martin will have the Constructors, but Striker Boy's personal Drivers' Championship with as his closest rival. And I think, was it Pocket? It was Pocket, so... Spat Beef, Striker Boy. Healthy gap there for him. TMC, who is ahead actually of Fawaz in the championship. We'll see if TMC can get a move done on Cammy. TMC will probably be looking at the race win here. As drivers now deciding to box and get onto fresher compound of tyres. Pockets is coming in, Kurumi is coming in, deciding as well to come in. These drivers not going to lose out on much. Maybe perhaps not really doing too well with the conditions. Nothing to lose really from them, although I would have felt maybe would have stayed out, inheriting those positions, see if he can hold on to them, but the fresh rubber of the newer wets must just be that much beneficial. So Oliver leading the race. I have to check, he has a drive-through penalty and I think 11 seconds as well, so he'll need to serve this as soon as the safety car is over. Fawaz in second. Fawaz in second with 3 seconds. He'll want to go immediately as possible and start extending the gap when Oliver comes in. Cammy, of course, has every chance to be the race winner here if he can hold on to Fawaz, if he can maybe even challenge him. But TMC, he's going to be thinking about his title chances. There is every possible way that if Striker Boy doesn't get a good move on him or get a good overtaking opportunity, that they can keep any driver standings alive, of course, maybe even with a race win. We've seen drivers taking it easy and crash out, so nothing is for certain yet. As we're going to see, Oliver has now caught up to the safety car. Our front four, of course, are there with the rest of Striker Boy and Tundra forming up. And the midfield will be slowly joining as well. Can't imagine it taking too long for them to catch up at all. Chaos, of course. Cammy, I don't think... Let's just double check. Fortunately, I've cut it off. I don't think Cammy has a win. Cammy only has 8 points this season. Probably going to be feeling a bit of vertigo for himself. But right now, depending on, of course, Fawaz, because Oliver will have to serve a drive-through, Cammy could be leading this race, could be looking at a race win here. This would be a brilliant result for the AlphaTauri driver, who has been a bit about the midfield, getting regular points, of course, from time to time. Not too many. But I said it at the start, Rain, the great equalizer. We could see a very good upset here, provided by Qatar's well-known thunderous rain. And a bit of chaos by Fawaz missing his breaking point and unfortunately taking Striker Boy right down to the bottom of the grid. Who is still there? TMC and Striker Boy, both are going to be eyeing this up. They'll be keen to get going. They'll be keen to see if they can gain any positions. We'll probably see drivers brake dragging to keep the tyres warm and burn off any excess fuel. Of course, during the rain, you'll find yourself actually well positive, well over of your fuel expenditure, so you'll end up maybe a lap, 2 laps over your fuel spend, especially with the amount of safety cars there are. But that's all the more reason that you can burn off the fuel, perhaps. So we'll see how the drivers do for that. ERS as well will be charged back up if anyone was defending a bit too aggressively, and the pack, as I mentioned, all bunched up. With Oliver in the lead, yet to serve a drive-through. Fawaz in second place with a 3-second time penalty, which puts Cammy, TNC, Striker Boy all licking their lips, all rubbing their hands together, thinking that they've got a chance of the race win. Talk about a dark horse. Everyone likes an underdog story. If Cammy was to win, this would be exciting. Would be a great change of result. But it's been a fantastic evening. It's been plenty of good racing. Unfortunate to lose 4 drivers, Thunderfox, Perryland and Pickle Rick, with Leroy being disqualified. But it's been a good race around the Losail circuit for DRC Tier 2, powered by Milestone, as we go into the last couple of laps. The final lap, very likely, of the safety car. As Oliver, on the back of the Aston Martin, will likely probably just want to make way immediately. And it's been a good drive. He's had very aggressive driving, making a few overtakes. It's been brilliant to watch. But unfortunately, just too many time penalties and incidents has unfortunately put him out of contention. So we'll see as soon as he peels in. It'll probably be immediately after the restart. He has every right, of course, to keep racing. So he will probably do that for the remainder of the first and probably only green lap of racing that he can do, and then having to box for the drive-through, which will leave Fawaz and Cammy, TMC and Striker Boy, I'd say, all the ones eyeing up this race win. It depends if Fawaz can even break a 3-second gap, but in the rain it will be incredibly difficult. And the rest of the pack, of course, Tundra in 6th, Pocket 7th with 3-second time penalty, Creamy in 8th, Juno, the other Aston Martin driver, in 9th, which will see them in the current standings like this, taking home the Constructors' Championship with the result of this race pending any investigation, I believe. Spat Beef, the last points playing position of the Ferrari, in 10th, and Takimi in 11th. But nothing is over yet. As we can see, the drivers now going and pulling up to Sector 3. We will see the safety car pulling in, and Oliver will be leading as becoming the de facto safety car. He'll be setting the pace going into the final sector, backing up as much as he wants, of course. It's a mixed one. It's unfortunate. He will, of course, I don't believe he can serve a drive-through immediately. It is green conditions, so we'll see if he boxes or if he carries on. He will be taking the checkered flag of the safety car, so he will be leading. We'll see when he goes then. Fawaz will be right on his gearbox, paying complete attention to this. You can hear the jittering and the revs. Just waiting to go. Waiting here. It's a very long pit straight. Oliver has now gone. I think Fawaz struggling with the gears maybe as we come down. TMC immediately making the move. Striker Boy down the inside. They're going to be 3 wide. Striker Boy backs out of it. Thinks better of it. TMC down the inside of Cammy. Little bit of contact there. TMC struggling on the curves as Tundra flies through. And TMC is round. Tundra is through. That's unfortunate for TMC's Cammy and Tundra make their way round. Striker Boy through as well. Pockets right down the order. Falls TMC. It's unfortunate as Cammy is still in 3rd place. Fawaz in 2nd. He's held on to that as well. Pockets is right on the back of Striker Boy as he loses out to his teammate Uno, who makes a fantastic dive down the inside. Brilliant from Aston Martin. The pair of them, who are leading the Constructors' Championship together, are through, driving together in 5th and 6th. Tundra, a fantastic getaway by him. He's through to 4th. Cammy stays out of trouble with a little bit of contact. He held it around the outside, staying just enough out of the way. He's still in 3rd. Fawaz now has broken a 2nd to Cammy, but he's got 3 seconds to break with only a lap left of racing. Oliver is now approaching the final sector. He'll likely pull in, which should leave Fawaz the race leader. These two will likely want to defend together, but Uno, who is Striker Boy's championship rival, if he can hold on to it, if he goes for anything he can. Striker Boy gets a time penalty, a 3-second time penalty. Uno doesn't even need to battle his teammate. Whether or not he was going to hold formation for respect of his teammate, it doesn't matter. Striker Boy's going to fall down the order, and considering the safety car, how close everyone is, Striker Boy's going to fall right down the pack. I wonder if Striker Boy's going to let him through. He won't. They're going to defend tooth and nail, while their teammates, they are rivals in the championship together, as they have to negotiate past Tundra, who defends heavily here. Round the outside goes Striker Boy. We'll see if he can get the move done. As Yuno goes down the inside, little bit of squeezing out there as Tundra defends heavily, but just can't keep the move, can't keep the position. He drops down the 6th as Yuno is now through as well, but he's still got Tundra there side by side. He slots back in behind, and the Aston Martin pair are through. Striker Boy still with a 3-second time penalty. It's still plenty that he may lose out. I'm not sure if the stewards will remove that. It's just down the track limits. Cammy is in 3rd place, of course. He's within a second of Fowers. He hasn't broke that time. We're on the final lap of the race. Oliver will be getting disqualified unless he peels in and for his drive through. But I don't think that'll matter too much because he'll lose all the positions. Fawaz, 3 seconds, won't break it to Cammy. Cammy's still looking with his race win here. Juno, 1.3 seconds back. Striker Boy has fallen back either or to let Juno through. There's still plenty of racing going on here. Takimi battling, looking for a move on Kumi. Pockets a 3-second time penalty is trying to make the move as Takimi struggles down the inside on grip. The Ferrari pair, he's looking down the inside, squeezed out. Takimi defending really well here. As I think we've got a move here, maybe up ahead. Is Cammy looking for it on Farwise? You don't need to. You can just defend your position. You know he's looking down the inside. He's going for it, side by side, in the final corner, as he's held up by Farwise. And Yuno is through, and Yuno to the line. Oliver disqualified. And we're going to see Yuno take the checker flag with Farwise in second. Sorry, Cammy in second. Tundra in third. Kurumi in fourth. And that was a fantastic finish to the race. Yuno with a very opportunistic dive down the inside, and Fawaz who went deep, and unfortunately it held up to Kimi. He should have defended his position. He didn't need to go for the overtake on Fawaz. And now this definitely puts a fantastic twist in the Drivers' Championship. Aston Martin all but wrap up, I believe, the constructors, so congratulations to them. That'll get double checked, of course. But you know, the only person who was rivaling Strikeable in the championship, his own teammate, finds himself gaining a few positions on the last lap and gaining a few positions in the last corner and gets the race win for Aston Martin. It's unfortunate for Takimi, who's looking at the win there, but that's a brilliant drive by himself for the AlphaTauri. It's a brilliant drive as well by Tundra, who joins him on the podium. Breathe. A chaotic last lap. Yuno takes home the race win in first. Cammy, a brilliant drive, who started in 14th, definitely deserves driver of the day, getting second place, only just missing out on the race win. Tundra in third, fourth place Kurumi, Fawaz, Striker Boy 5th and 6th, Takimi in 7th, Blackbeef 8th, Pockets 9th, and TMC last points in 10th, and Oliver, unfortunately, with the time penalties and the drive-through, in 11th. Wow, okay, we'll see if we can get any of the drivers in for the interviews. Definitely need to... Yeah, there's going to be quite a few things to discuss and things to ask about. So we'll see if we can add them at all to the cooldown room. I can see Cammy is already in there. But we need Thunder Fox and we also need Juno. What a fantastic drive, a fantastic race. Very entertaining throughout the first stages and through the middle at parts, but a chaotic end, a climatic end as well that throws the Drivers' Championship wide open as Striker Boy, as I saw him drop right down the order. So we'll see where drivers are, as Tundra is now in there. So we'll add Tundra into the box here. If I can get my Discord open, I apologize, bear with me one moment. Tundra, welcome. Fantastic drive from you. You kept yourself out of trouble at times. You were defending aggressively. Unfortunately, you were falling down the order throughout the race still. But it's a brilliant drive, and you've picked up third. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling great because before the weekend started, I had no idea what my pace was going to be, and I was mainly practicing on dries. When it hit wets, it was fair game for everyone. It was free game, so I figured just keep it consistent, just keep it on the track, because I don't know how anyone else would go, but yeah, I was losing time when with pace. I pitted a little bit earlier, but everyone who pitted after started catching up to me. So I just had to defend as hard as I could just to try and maintain and get some much needed points.
I don't think. Well, I definitely don't think Qatar has rain really that often. What were you confident when you saw rain though? Were you feeling God about you had fairly decent pace actually in the wets?
Yeah, well, I was doing some last minute setup changes and I happened to find a setup that worked good for me. Um, for wets, I just took a gamble and stuck with the same thing, changed a little bit to my setup, and it was stable. I really wanted to be stable to keep within track limits, and it happened to work. I, didn't cut any corners. It was smooth and easy, just how I wanted it.
No, that's fantastic. Were you thinking when you saw the chaos ensue, the time penalties that Striker Boy got, were you thinking you had a chance at the podium if you just held on to your positions and just kept yourself out of trouble in the last laps?
Yeah, so I saw Oliver had like a huge penalty, Fault-wise had a penalty, and Striker Boy. So I knew Striker Boy was on older tires, so I wanted to just stay ahead of him, or at least if he did pass me, just try to creep in behind. I was trying to keep up with Fault-wise, but he was pulling off, and I didn't know if I was within. But luckily, I was within for a podium, and it worked.
Yeah, I think I didn't get as well. There was so much chaos, I can't remember what the exact times were. But it's a brilliant result. It's a brilliant race. Fantastic.
Thank you.
How are you feeling for the final race of the season? Feeling good? Has it been a good season so far for yourself?
I mean, I only got one podium in first race of the season, so it's not really the season I expected it to be. But at least I was able to get some points here and there, so it's not the worst. For Suzuka, I usually always do pretty decent around there, so I think it might be a good track for me for a 100% race.
That's fantastic. It's been a great race, and well, we'll never know. We might see you there, but fantastic racing. Thank you very much. A good result for you.
Thank you.
As we're now going to Cami as well, who got P2 in that race. Cami, welcome. A fantastic result. P2, unfortunately you missed out on P1. How are you feeling? Bit of vertigo? It's a brilliant result for yourself.
If I'm gonna be completely honest, I feel awful.
Oh, right, how come?
I was this close. I was this close for my first ever win in league racing.
It was really...
I smashed my desk and raised my voice.
That is brilliant.
I am quite surprised the drink on my desk still stands and didn't fall over.
You can't beat yourself too much. It was one where it's almost like, to be fair, everyone loves an underdog. If I'm gonna show any bias, I was willing you to win because, of course, it would have been a brilliant result for yourself. But just, I was screaming, "Don't attack! Don't go for it! Just defend!" And unfortunately, did you expect the move from Juno? Did it catch you by surprise?
I don't really know. I was in the moment that Waz was too slow. I was faster, so and I knew that Juno was behind me, but like, what am I supposed to do? Slow down? No, I moved to the side and I went through the outside. Unfortunately, that was the wrong move. I should have gone into the inside.
It is unfortunate, yeah.
That was that one crucial mistake from me.
What are you feeling, though, for the whole race? Because you were down lower in the order. You were actually defending quite well. Were you feeling positive about the rain? Because you just did hold on to positions, and when it came to the final safety car restart, you were just there at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like when it's wet, but somehow I am surprisingly good in the wet, even despite the fact that I hate it. But, it is what it is. I guess I'm good in the rain, and yeah. I mean, I really didn't want to push the car all race. I really didn't, and in my mind, consistency was key, and keeping it out of on the track, not get any track limits violations, and don't spin out. Those were 3 rules for me, and well, it paid off.
Well, yeah,
It really paid off.
you kept yourself out of trouble. You kept your car facing the right way. You look at this. You got P2. It's going to be one of those where.
I personally consider myself a clean driver. I know everybody's gonna scream that Kami, you had a quali ban for getting too many penalty points. Just so you guys know, this is my first ever quali ban, and I'm gonna excuse my language, it has been a really shit season so far.
The producers are tapping on the shoulder saying to apologise for the language. But no, it's a fantastic season. It is unfortunate, of course. People will always put something over you if it just happened once. But like you said, you kept yourself out of trouble. You've got P2 for it. It's a brilliant race result. And arguably probably one of the most hardest circuits in the hardest conditions.
I don't think so. I personally really like Qatar. I feel really comfortable on that track. I feel really comfortable on that track, and I think if it would have been dry, I think Qatar is one of my stronger circuits.
That's fair enough.
Even with the rain, I guess. Even with the rain, it's one of my stronger circuits.
That's very fair. Well, congratulations. Hard luck, but a brilliant result for yourself in the end.
I'm gonna have some time to calm down from this disappointment.
I'll let you go.
I'm gonna keep pushing. That win is gonna come one day.
You'll get it. I'm very certain, and you'll be back up here in the box.
I feel like Lando Norris here.
But no, a very good result, my friend, and well done.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
And now, something definitely not saw coming in this one. We're gonna bring our race winner for the Qatar Grand Prix. Welcome. How are you feeling?
I'm alright. I don't know how that went, but yeah, we take it.
You take a race win, would you?
Yeah, just about. I'm still very confused. I don't know where that came from. I was like P10 after the safety car, but
so there was chaos after the final safety car. There was moments of sort of. I think you cleared past Tundra, you and Splatbeef, into turn 1, I believe, wasn't it? Did Splatbeef let you through? Did you overtake him on track? Because of course he got the time penalty. What happened there? Were you holding order as well before that?
Do you mean pockets? Because Splatbeef was behind me.
I can't remember when it was, but I think in the safety car you were behind Splatbeef, weren't you?
I was behind Pockets and then Tundra.
So Striker Boy, sorry, your team.
Striker, okay.
Sorry. So
No,
Striker Boy,
sense.
yeah.
So originally I was going to hold position, and I apologise to Striker. I was going to, play the teammate role and stay behind him, but he got 3 seconds, and so I thought, I'll either way I'm going to end up in front of him, so I may as well see how far up I can get. And that just happened to somehow be P1.
You've ended up in an interesting position. What was did you think I'm going to send it in the final corner? Did you realise how deep Cammy went and just thought I've got a chance here?
So I knew I was faster than Cammy anyway because he didn't box under the safety car, which probably was his the worst of the 2 decisions to make. But then I think the main issue there would have been Falwaz collecting Cammy. But no, I think if I was to do it again, I think Cammy did it as much as he could have done to get the win, and it's just unfortunate for him apparently for him. Yeah.
No, it's unfortunate for him, but of course it's benefited you greatly. Aston Martin, I think, pretty much wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. It will all get confirmed, but I believe that one's well, it was that one was well and done, truly, I think, before this race, but it's mathematically, I think, confirmed. I imagine, of course, yourselves, you, Striker Boy, and your TP probably feeling very, very proud about that. But personal standings, you've become Striker Boy's main rival for the Drivers' Championship. With this, you've closed the gap massively. How are you feeling going into the last race at Suzuka?
Suzuka's not a great track for me, to be honest. Striker's still got a good few points between us both, so my main goal is to try and see how many points we can score this season in the team's championship, and then for me at least, Drivers comes second. So
very HR answer. Okay. I'll just okay. Well, I'll just say in the comments then that deep down you want to get this all for yourself. But no, very HR answer. I can respect that. Fair enough. How are you feeling though? Has it been a good season for yourself? It's been penultimate race. We're going into the last race now, of course, next weekend. How's it been for yourselves?
It's been okay, I'd say. At the very start of the season, that was, I was riding the wave, and it was really good. But then, sort of midway through the season, it's been, it's not been great. Just to have this result finally has been something that I've wanted for a while. So this has been a really good turnaround.
Yeah, because you've been down about just missing out on consistent ponies, but you've been consistently with points. So
yep.
It has been a good season for yourself. But what we'll see going into Suzuka. But make it a bit exciting for us. Come on. It's not over yet.
I would definitely give it a go.
No, but brilliant. Congratulations. It's all about the race this evening. You've done brilliant. You've won the race. Congratulations. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes a very exciting... I keep saying KRT, but I feel that's probably the wrong words because it was a very good racing out of the final safety car for round 11, the Qatar Grand Prix for DRC, powered by Milestone. Of course, I've been Wilton Wild, your commentator, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend to Suzuka, the finale of Tier 2. Thank you very much.